Hi, how's everybody doing today? This is Rich here on behalf of Rich TV Live with our very special guest. It is Omar MENZIES, Platinum 2000 at IM Mastery Academy. How you doing today, Omar?
I'm doing extremely good, man. Extremely fortunate to have to be able to come onto this live Zoom with you today. I really appreciate you having me come on here.
I appreciate you coming on here. I'm really excited to learn from you. This is the first time we've actually really ever talked.
Absolutely.
I've learned a lot about you, and I've been on some of your streams where I've been listening and learning about your style and your strategy of trading. And some of our students within our team, they were on your stream on Friday and they won. They caught 40 pips. They were really happy with you. So thank you for that. I wanted to thank you for that, for your service, because you're like helping other people make money. And that is absolutely awesome. But before we get into all of that, I want you to kind of just tell everyone who's watching your story. This is streaming live, but we're also going to share this everywhere. So I just want to share your story. And like, how long have you been in this academy? You left $100,000 a year job. Tell us a little bit about your story about Omar Menzies and what got you to this point of, Platinum 2000. And guys, this is not just the guy who's a Platinum 2000. He's making $2,000 a day. And you said something that resonated with me. You said, Platinum 2000 is great, but I like making those Platinum 2000 checks daily.
Yeah.
That's hot, man. So please tell us the story, everyone who's watching. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I've been with the Academy just shy of a year. It's actually going to be a year in March 22nd.
Wow.
No, sorry, May 22nd.
Wow.
It's been less than a year and it's been an amazing experience. I got into this because I had already been exposed to the online world. Before I came on to IM Mastery Academy, I was actually an affiliate marketer online. And I got into that by a friend of mine that I've known for 8 years. And I saw him build a business from nothing to over $100 million in sales.
Wow.
In a span of 5 years. And at the same time that he started that, I actually started a business on my own. I was doing real estate development. And in that same amount of time, my business grew as well. I had an investor. They gave me a $1.4 million. I was building homes, custom homes. I was building mid to high level homes. Danmar Development. So it's a switch between my name and my wife's name, Danica and Omar. So we built that over that same period of time that I saw my friend build his online business. And we did 4 million in sales. He did 100 million in sales.
Wow.
We were struggling, working 12 to 18 hours a day. I still had my day job while I was building this business. So I was literally struggling with time management. You know what I mean? And I saw him doing, traveling and speaking on stages and doing all these things. And I was living a great life. Don't get me wrong. I had an amazing life. I have 2 homes worth over $1 million. I did really well and I've done really well for myself. But the thing is that I always came back to time, right? Time to me is the most precious thing. So I actually exposed myself to the online world because I believe in automation. I believe in making things easier, working smarter, not harder. So I got involved with that business, and that really opened up my eyes to what is actually possible with the online space. And what we were doing is literally helping people learn how to start a business, right? And the fact that I had previous business exposure and I had a great following. I did really well, but the one thing that I lacked was the ability to get my team and my the people that believed in me, that bought into my business, to get them results. The reason why is because there's so many variables when it comes to creating content, creating ads, all that kind of stuff, right? So I was actually doing like really good. I had I had a lot of days where I was doing $3,000 a day, $10,000 a day,
Wow.
doing affiliate marketing because we were doing we were selling things that were really really expensive, right? So what I didn't like though was the fact that, like I said, I wasn't getting my customers results. So it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, and I kind of was trying to figure out, okay, well, what is going to work for me? And I was extremely loyal to that company. I was extremely loyal to what I was doing. I loved it. I loved the people that I was involved with. They exposed me to a lot of mindset development, personal development, practicing my daily methods of operation, which I practice now. And that's kind of one of the things that I preach with my team. But the thing was is that my integrity is always going to be held to a higher standard, right? If I can't get people results the way that I'm getting, then I can't continue moving forward with that situation. So then I started seeing people on my Instagram, and I started like hearing about Forex. I hadn't really heard much about Forex before that. I had been interested in trading probably like 10 years ago. I heard about a thing called penny stocks, IPOs before they go public. And I was interested in that. But the problem was, especially 9 years ago, was that there wasn't much information out there for you to actually know how to get started, how to get yourself exposed, how to set up a broker, how to do all those things. So for me, I just I didn't want to lose my shirt. So let's just put it that way. So I didn't pursue it. But again, I kept seeing people on my Instagram, what was that, just over a year ago, for the past couple of years, actually. And they kept talking about Forex, right? And I kept seeing these amazing numbers and all this kind of stuff. And I, like everybody else, I said, yeah, whatever. It's probably too good to be true.
Yeah.
And then finally, I said, I'm going to reach out, right? So there was a guy that I reached out on my Instagram. He's down in Atlanta. And it was funny because I sent him a message, and I believe we had a personal friend within the Amazon world that we were involved with. And he never messaged me back for a week. And then within that time, Nafis Khan, which is my business partner now, who brought I Am Academy to Canada, messaged me. Wow. And he said, hey, Omar, I have something that I need to talk to you about. Let's get on a phone call. And before I got off that phone call, he basically said to me, hey, this is what I'm bringing to Canada. I talked to the VP and the CEO, have a great partner in this business who's already a chairman 25. We're bringing this to Canada. It's never been exposed to Canada, blah, blah, blah. So before I even got off the call, I already had my visa out. I was in. Wow. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I had already exposed myself to it slightly, started asking about information. So it was actually like synchronicity. It was fate. Things happen for a reason. You know what I mean? There was already that bug that kind of went into my brain talking about Forex. And then boof, one person showed up in my life that I had already known. And he said, dude, let's do it. I said, absolutely. So before I got off that phone call, I was in. And the thing was that I was actually the first person in Saskatchewan to sign up to this academy. Oh, wow. So, yeah. So, and the thing was, Nafis, he was in Vancouver, and I was alone, right? So my thing was that, and coming out of this affiliate marketing business where I was literally trying to sell people, you know what I mean? I came into this Forex with the mindset of not wanting to interact with anybody.
Just wanted to trade. You just wanted to trade.
I just wanted to trade. I just wanted to make money. I didn't want to expose anybody to it. I didn't want anyone to even know what I was doing. So I dove into this academy, and from day one, it intrigued me because then I exposed myself to literally creating money out of thin air, right? Whereas before, as a business owner, I had to break my back. You know what I mean? I literally was up for 72 hours with only like 4 hours of sleep when I was building my real estate business and when I was working full time and doing all those things that I was doing to become successful, right? Whereas here with trading, I remember my first trade, I made $100 in like less than an hour. And I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, this is something. And that's where it kind of went into my head. I was like, this is very powerful. And this is something that a lot of people can take advantage of.
Totally.
So I went into this not wanting to talk to anybody about it, to instantly being like, this can help people. You know what I mean? Especially because sales is such a tricky thing that if you're not a shark, guess what? There's a potential that you might not be able to close customers. You know what I mean? You might not be able to get to that next level because there's that little. If you're not a shark, you can't swim with them, right?
Absolutely.
So that was a disconnect. So what I basically thought to myself was, if I can teach people how to do this, and if I can teach myself how to do this, I can definitely help the broad range of people that aren't those sharks, that are those introverts that don't want to put themselves out there, that don't want to put their pictures on their Facebook and create ads and all this kind of stuff. Like they can literally hide in a cave, trade, and make money without interacting with anybody. So that was my wheels turning in my head when I first got into this academy. And this is the reason why I dove extremely deep, because for me, that was this was going to be my gateway. And within 4 months, I'd already quit my job.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was a 6-figure job that you quit.
Yes. So I was working in a mine. So here's the thing. When I started this academy, I was building 2 custom homes, right? Worth like $1.2 million. I was building those 2 homes. I was still working full time. I was a father, a husband, and both my kids were playing twice a week. So I basically only had Saturday off. Wow. So I basically tried to figure out, how am I going to fit this into my schedule? But the thing is that if you want it bad enough,
find a way to do it.
Absolutely. You can do whatever you want.
Totally.
So I figured it out. I found a routine. I was literally entering trades before I went to work.
Wow.
Off of the harmonic scanner. I would enter them, go down. I had zero contact with the outside world, because I was working over a kilometer underground at a mine, potash mine. So I had zero contact with the outside world. I'd come up, poof, wins. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then on the way home, I'd enter more trades and win. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy for me. And I was just like, damn, this is crazy. So for me, all of a sudden, I had a conversation with my wife, and she's like, you can't keep doing this. You know what I mean? You have to, like, this is an amazing, she was telling me to do this.
She was telling you.
Absolutely.
Wow, so that's an awesome partner,
she's
man.
More conservative. She's a lot more conservative than I am. And I had already been like, damn, this, like, for me, it was just like, dude, I'm literally creating money out of thin air. And I'm not trading time for it anymore.
You don't have to break your back. You're just pressing a button.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is that I was already in physio and stuff for my back, because, like, I've been on the rigs. I've done so many things that broke my body at a young age.
Well, it's dangerous to be working a mile under the ground.
Yeah. And honestly, with only like a couple hours of sleep a day, I was like literally falling asleep while I was running equipment.
Wow. Yeah,
so it was dangerous for me. So eventually she basically said, like, if you're passionate about this and you love it enough, and you think you can do this, do it. Right. So here's the thing. For me, when I started in this platform, I didn't look at my profits as numbers. I looked at them as percentages. Right. So what I did when I initially started was I looked at what I needed to do to be able to make enough money to quit my job. Right. So I reverse engineered what I needed to make and what I needed to invest. Okay. So this is something different than a lot of people do, because a lot of people start in this company with only, let's say, $100 account, $500 account. I started with 10K. Okay. And the reason why I did that was because I reverse engineered. I said, if I can make 5% a day on $10,000, that's $500 a day. So I said, that's enough for me to survive. And that's 500 USD. Okay. So that's enough for me to survive and quit my job. And I did that. Right. My first day, my first trade, I made $100. And that was 10 pips. 10 pips on a one lot. So I kept doing that over and over and over again. And then I started doing $500 a day. Then I started doing $1,000 a day. And I started doing $1,500 a day. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. And then what I did was I basically grew my account. I stopped taking profits. I grew my account. And I grew my account to 30% or 30,000. And then what I started doing from there, same thing. So the thing that I preach a lot is talking about percentages, right? I teach my students how to go for 5 to 10% a day. And if they start with a small account, let's say $100, at 5% compounded daily, every time you win 5%, your account grows. So should your lot size. So if they can do that consistently over a 90-day period, which is perfect for creating a habit, right? If you can grow a small account, you can grow a big account.
Correct.
If you can't grow a big account, you can't grow a small account.
Correct.
Right? So if they're wanting to start with a smaller account balance, I expose them to this 90-day challenge for themselves, so they can then start getting 5% a day. And I have students that hit that within their first 10 minutes of trading with me.
Wow.
Right? So if they can do that consistently over a 90-day period and grow their account, that $100 turns into $8,700.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys hear that? So Omar's saying that if you can make 5% a day on $100, that over 3 months, that turns into $8,700.
Absolutely.
That's
the power
incredible.
Of compounding.
That's incredible. However, what you are saying is true with the lot sizes, because the thing is, when you have a higher lot size, guys, you're taking more risk, but you also have 10 times the reward, right? Absolutely. If you've got a 0.10 lot size, which is $1 a pip, you're not going to make nearly as much as if you have a 1.00 lot size where you're making $10 a pip. And we
Mhm.
noticed that with our team because when I started, to be honest with you, we weren't trading with big lot sizes because I was told start with 0.01. So I started with 0.01, and I remember a lot of my guys being like, how are we going to make money? There's no money to be made at 0.01. And I was new to this, and I was like, I don't know. So then I started learning about having a higher lot size, and this is what you're talking about. And it's funny because I'm a Platinum 1000, you're a Platinum 2000. I've been in this for 5 months, but really, I still consider myself a new person because even though we've done well with building, I'm still not at that level when it comes to trading. I'm not. I'm not comfortable yet using a 1.00 lot size because even with demo, when I watch it, it's crazy. Like we have nights, we've been trading with Antoine a lot at night, and we have nights where we're making like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a night. But then,
Yeah.
on the bad trades, we're drawing down big, we're taking massive hits. So it's just something to get comfortable with, but you can see
Absolutely.
the power of it. It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling how much money we can make with this, guys. And I heard one of your students yesterday made $8,000 trading gold in one day. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that he was actually one of my first students. He's the top of one of my legs,
Wow.
and yeah,
That's
so
mind-boggling. Eight
yeah,
grand
so
in one day, guys.
yeah, and
US.
he does that consistently though.
He does that
That's the thing.
consistently?
Yeah,
So he's making like $8,000, $5,000 every day just trading gold?
not every day. So he trades every couple of days.
Okay, so he has a couple days a week. So everybody
Yeah,
has their own like style, guys. And that's
absolutely.
that's the other thing I really like about this academy is that you can trade whenever you want. And I love the fact that we could trade with Antoine at night, we can trade with Omar in the morning. And that's what I really want to implore our students to do, guys, that are watching, because we have a lot of our students that are watching right now, and some people that are not students that are probably thinking about joining. Omar is the 6 a.m. guy. So can you kind of tell your schedule of when you're trading live so everyone that's
Absolutely.
watching can join you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I tend to start slightly after the New York session opens. So
Okay.
the New York session opens around 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be I get on roughly around what is that 6:45. So I get on 45 minutes after the markets open.
Okay. So
So
in Ontario or New York or Toronto, he's live at about like
eight
the
forty-five.
8:45.
Yeah, and then that would be 5:45 Pacific Standard Time
5:45. Okay, so 45 minutes before the market opens, which if it
after.
opens in Toronto at 9:30, that means Omar's live at about 8:45. So you guys are welcome to, if you're part of the I Am Elite April group, that's where he's sharing his link. And I started seeing that and I started letting our group know. I was like, hey guys, you want to join Omar? Because a lot of our guys started trading with Antoine, but he goes like really late. So for our guys that are in Toronto or New York or East Coast, they were dying because they were up to like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and it was killing them.
Yeah.
So this is a much more effective way for you guys to trade. Trade with a guy who's winning consistently, and trade at a normal hour, guys. And how long do
Mhm.
you trade live for? Is it an hour or is it 2 hours? How long do you go live?
Yeah, so it depends. Sometimes I stay on with my team or whoever's on there for an hour and a half, hour 45, maybe sometimes 2 hours. I enjoy the conversations. Like that's like so for me, my sessions is a great way for me to wake up. So it incorporates my daily method of operation. So what I do is basically I prepare myself every morning to become a champion, right?
Great.
So I have these rituals every morning that I do, affirmations, meditations. Sometimes I do yoga before my sessions, basically getting myself into the mind space to basically just attract what I want. I'm a huge practitioner when it comes to the laws of attraction. Whatever you put out, you get back, right? So for me, what I want to do is basically teach my students, teach the people that are following me how to become a master of their days, right? So me getting in the mornings on with them, like what I always say is we learn together, we eat together, we trade together, right? So if I lose, they lose. If we win, everyone wins, right? And that's basically it. Because once you're in that mindset where you're waking up like a champion every single morning, it becomes a ritual and it becomes a habit. So I'm trying to create that habit for just your average Joe that hasn't been exposed to this kind of stuff before. I've been doing it for the last 5 years. You know what I mean? Working on myself. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars working on myself, going to different events, working on my mindset, exposing myself to books and higher learning. You know what I mean? So I've incorporated that into my trading strategy, because what it comes down to is 80% of trading is mental, and then 20% of it is actual technique. You know what I mean? And the thing, what you'll learn is when you're trading, a lot of it has to do with emotions, right? So revenge trading, or if you're, let's say, if you want a bunch of trades, boom, all of a sudden you stop actually looking at all of the analysis that you want to put out there or look for to get into a trade, because all of a sudden, oh, I won 4 trades in a row, and it's like, okay, this one's going to go because I'm now Mr. Invincible. And what happens is then that's the one that you lose. And
Yep.
potentially you over leverage on that one because you think you're going to win. And then that's when you lose all your profits for the day. Right. So what I try to teach people is all of those emotions. Right. I have one of my students, he's a 7-figure earner in other businesses. And now we're doing mindset calls. We had one last night with everybody, just to kind of expose everybody. And like I said, he's one of my newest students, but he's mastering one of the toughest pairs out there, which is US 30, the Dow Jones. This past week, he did 5 figures this past week.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so 20 G's in this past week.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
I had a new guy, and I mean, we literally just started moving up our lot sizes. So I had a new guy named Peter, brand new. He comes in, he starts trading on demo. He makes $70,000 on demo. And I'm like, never seen this before, right? And he's using lot sizes of 5 and 10. And I guess he's traded a lot before, and I'm still learning about him. He's brand new. So he goes live, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I pray that he's not going to lose like a bunch of money, because I'm scared, right? Because I know live is different than demo. He makes $1,000 his first day. He makes $4,000 his second day. So then he messages me yesterday, and he's like, Richard, thank you so much for introducing me to the academy. I'm like, bro, I want to trade with you. Like, can you teach me what you're doing? Brand new guys made $5,000 in 2 days. That's the power of what we're doing here in the academy. He's doing it on his own.
Yeah.
He's not even trading with anybody. Like, some people just see the patterns. And I taught everyone within my team, because I've been trading for a long time, but stocks, not Forex. Right. So I'm new to Forex. I'm new to gold. I'm new to indexes. I'm new to oil. So I'm still a student when it comes to this. This is trading futures, guys. So I'm not comfortable yet, especially with the bigger lot sizes, because I know that you can take big wins. You can have big losses.
Yeah, absolutely.
He figured out the patterns, I guess, because I told everyone, if you buy at the low of the day, this is my trade that I do.
Yeah.
I look for the low of the day and the high of the day. I use Webull because Webull marks the low and the high of the day. I really like that app. And they have no pop-ups, so you don't have to worry about all that stuff. The TradingView has all those pop-ups. So you go to Webull, they got the mark the low of the day and the high of the day. So I look for the RSI under 30. I look for the moving averages being under the moving averages, and I look for the low of the day. That's a triple verification buy for me. I buy those trades. Same thing with the short. I'm looking for the RSI over 70, high of the day, and being over the moving averages. That's my verification, triple verification to short. That's the trade I do, and it's winning about 80% of the time. Occasionally, because of news or just trends, you're going to break through the resistance. But 8 out of 10 times we're winning. So he was doing just that. He's like, Rich, I just took your strategy and I started trading up and down, and he was winning consistently. But I've learned from Omar more of the price trap strategy, and I believe you do the same thing. Is that correct?
I do. Well, not really. I use a lot of my Fibonacci's.
Okay.
Right. So I trade with the institutions.
Okay.
Right. So I've exposed myself to the higher level because I realize that there are massive patterns when it comes to time. Right. And the time actually equates to the liquidity of the markets. So I basically, I actually traded with Antoine my first day trading with Antoine, I did $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was just like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then here's the thing, though. I did it for the whole week, and I was exhausted by Saturday. I slept until 12. And I was just like, I can't do this. I'm old. I got kids. I was taking.
He goes all night. He goes from London to New York, and some of my guys are in Australia or in Indonesia, so they're trading with him during the day, and they're like, Rich, he fell asleep on the Zoom. Literally, he's falling asleep, and people are still trading. So you guys are animals, man. I think this is such an awesome academy, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is like with Antoine, after my first day trading with him, it was funny because the next morning I was pumped. I'm like, yeah, I did $3,000 first day. And the funny thing was is that the next morning I looked at the charts and that was only getting 30 pips per pair. So I doubled up on each one and then I got 30. So I don't know, I think it was like 300 pips or something like that. But anyways,
Huge.
yeah, it was great. It was great. But here's the thing: the next morning, I looked at my charts because I was like, "Oh, I wonder what happened afterwards." Those pairs ended up going like 200 pips.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, what's going on here?" So here's the thing: is that there was an educator in our academy. His name is Tim Trades, and he used to actually work with the banks.
Wow.
He used to be a trader with the banks, and he's exposed me to a lot of like the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, which is all kind of in a time frame. And I charted my charts up exactly with that strategy that next morning after my first session with Antoine. And I literally saw the pattern exactly where we were. So we were actually with Antoine, we were trading in the manipulation period. And then what happens is that it's a fake out, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, at a certain spot in the middle of the night, it goes and actually distributes. That's where the banks actually distribute the money into the markets that specific hour. And then boof, it went 200 pips. So after that, I did that for the next week, or sorry, for that remainder of the week. But that Saturday, I basically said to myself, like, I can't do this. Like, I still got to wake up in the morning, take my kids to daycare, school when we were still allowed to leave our houses. And then, yeah, so I was exhausted. And then I basically said that weekend, I said, I need to figure this out for the New York session. So I spent all weekend looking at my charts, back testing, looking at the patterns and everything. And then by Sunday night, I found it. And then Monday, I started testing that out. And then the following week, I started actually doing the whole thing on my terms rather than on somebody else's schedule.
Yeah, because it's and it's, but the interesting thing for me is someone who's always been in the stock game, I didn't realize how big Forex was. I didn't realize that it dwarfed the stock market. I also didn't realize that the London market dwarfed New York. Yeah. That was shocking to me. I always thought New York, Wall Street was the place, but it's actually London. That was shocking to me. And then it was also interesting to learn, and I don't know if you've probably noticed this, that London and New York is a mini London. Like whatever London does in the market, New York kind of does. Have you noticed that trend? But it's not as big. It's not as powerful. It's a smaller version of what London does. Have you noticed that?
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Like let's say the New York session, let's say GBP, NZD or something like that. In London, it would go 200 pips and then accumulate until the New York session opens. And then for New York, it would either go like 120 or 100, right? So it's definitely, you can still catch as much pips. Like I don't need much to make what I make.
Because you're playing with a really big lot size now. Is that why?
Not really big. I'm still using a standard lot. Like when I was
standard is 1.00.
Yeah.
Okay. Which guys? A lot of our guys are just starting to use 1.00. Like because we started 0.01, so we've had to come up 100 times. So it seems overwhelming. I almost feel like now I'm teaching my guys to start demo at 1.00, because I think if you start demo at 0.01, that 1.00 almost becomes intimidating.
Yeah, well, there's a thing though. Like you can't use one standard if you don't have the account balance to run it, right? So, like for me, when I first started, I was actually using a standard lot for everything that I got from the traders, like swipe trades, gold cup, and everything. Like every idea that they sent me to my phone, I was using a one standard. But here's the catch:
but you started with 10 grand, right? You started with 10 grand, but you started with 10 grand. That's why.
Yeah.
So, okay, exactly. If someone started with $1,000, what would you say to them would be a good lot size to start with?
0.1.
0.1. So, so what Omar's saying, guys, is if you want to do a 1.00 lot size, you shouldn't do it unless you have 10 grand.
Yeah.
And that's what you started with.
Yeah, exactly. So the rule of thumb basically is like 0.01 for every $100 you have in your account, right?
Yeah.
So if you're starting with $100, I recommend 0.01. If you're starting with 1,000, 0.1. If you're starting with 5,000, 0.5, right? Which basically, if $1,000, that's like $1 per pip, right? And these last several sessions that I've had, like the last 4 weeks that I've been doing these morning sessions, um, like we were doing like 200 to 300 pips a day,
Wow.
right?
Amazing.
This past week was a little slower just because the markets were kind of ranging, but we were still doing over 100 a day,
Wow. That's
right? So
amazing.
that's
That's
so it's
amazing.
still, if you're using a point one, that's still over $100 a day.
Oh yeah. It adds up really fast.
Absolutely.
Now, if somebody was new and they were saying, okay, Omar, I'm new, I'm struggling, I'm trying to figure out the trading. What advice would you give to them? And how long did it take for you to get to this point where, well, not to the point you're at now, but how long did it get to the point where you were comfortable as a trader? Because it doesn't happen overnight, right? Some
No,
people,
it
but
doesn't.
like some people are like Mozart and they wake up and they know how to play instruments. But the
Yeah,
1% maybe do that. But I would say 99% of people have to work at this for some
absolutely.
time. I've been doing it for 5 months and I'm starting to get more comfortable every day. How long did it take you, and what advice would you give to someone that's new, that's getting started?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So for me, I'm a champion for education, right? Because I've seen what it's done for me, right? So right from the start, when I came into the academy, I dove deep into the academy. I did the 100 series all the way to the 400 series. I exposed myself to everything, but the thing that I did was I implemented everything that I was learning as I was moving forward. So what that means is I was pausing the video, I was charting up how they showed me, I was looking for my supports and resistance, my trend lines. I was doing everything that they told me to do, and then I would continue on the video. So it took me a little longer to advance, but at the same time, I was already taking trade ideas from swipe trades and the different services, right? So I was already exposing myself to how the numbers worked, right? I didn't exactly get it. I didn't even know what a pip was when I first started.
Either
I
did
didn't even
I.
know how to.
I never
Yeah,
even heard of a pip. I was like,
no,
how's a
no,
pip?
exactly. But the funny thing was is that because I was using a one standard lot, I was literally, my magic number in my head per trade was $100. So that basically meant per trade I was only getting 10 pips, right? And then I was closing it out because I was like, I'm happy with $100. So if I can do that 10 times a day, that's $1,000, and I was doing that. And I wouldn't even allow the trade to go backwards on me before because I would only get 10 pips and then poof, I'm out. So here's the thing is that I exposed myself to the education right from the get-go because I had no support in my area. I would reach out to my mentors and everything, but like it was hard because I was in Saskatoon all by myself. So I really dug deep into it. But it wasn't until September, last September, when I went to Dallas to the convention, and that's kind of where I exposed myself to the massive reality of what this platform actually is. There was over 7,000 people at that event
Wow.
from all over the world, Africa, freaking Central, South America, all over Europe, United States, Canada, the Bahamas, like everything, right?
Wow.
So here's a story I want to share with you. And this is something that kind of changed my mindset when it came to learning about Forex and actually exposing myself deeper into the education. So I was literally at the convention there and I was waiting in the Starbucks lineup, and there was a guy that was speaking Spanish behind me. And everyone that was in that convention that day was from IM. So I turned around and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Struck up a conversation with him. And I asked him, like, oh, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from Venezuela. Okay. Oh, I'm like, oh, right on. So naturally, this is how my brain works. I asked him, I'm like, so how much does a person make down there in comparison to, let's say, the monthly subscription for us to get involved in this platform? And he said people down there are making roughly $24 a month USD
Wow.
if you convert it, right? So naturally, I was like, holy smokes, like that's crazy. Like they're basically spending 6 months out of their income to subscribe to this platform. So I said, how do people afford to get on? And here's the thing that changed everything for me. He said, people are finding any way possible to get involved with this platform. The reason why is because if they can fund their account with $100 and make 5% a day, they're making $5 a day. So if you do that over a 5-day week, 4 times over, they're making 500% more than what their jobs are paying them on a monthly basis. So
I
he's
agree.
like, people down there are literally leveraging their lives to get involved with this platform, to learn the skill set, and then turn around and free themselves.
Wow.
So for me, that was an eye opener because here I am making 6 figures, whining about not making $1,000 a day.
Absolutely. And then there's
You know
other
what I mean?
people working, like you said, making $24 a month. And then, like you said, and It's funny because I have one of our members is in Indonesia and she has the same fear that people can't afford it. I said, you know, it's funny. And I told her this. I go, I've been in the charities business my whole life and I always worked in fundraising. And I said to her, do you know which people donate the most? I said, the poor people. And she goes, why? I go, because they can relate. I go, so the people that need the money the most will want to appreciate this opportunity the most because it's the opportunity that can free them from their financial hardship, which you just said. And it's true. They will appreciate it more than the rich person that maybe signs up and doesn't do anything with it. I mean, there's quite a few people I know, even within our team, that have signed up and have done nothing with the academy. They haven't plugged in.
Nothing.
They've done nothing. It's just going off their credit card. And I try to talk to them and they're always like, they're busy. I said, I did the same thing, guys. For the first month, I did nothing. I say I've been doing this for 5 months, but for the first month, Nafis signed me up. I was in the middle of selling a house. And I said to him, I go, I don't have the time, but I'll sign up because I really like the idea of this. And then I'll get into it when I'm done selling my house. Well, I didn't actually sell the house until like February, right? So obviously I wasn't going to wait because it was charging my credit card, right? So I'm sitting here going, okay, I got to get into this and get some value from this academy that I'm paying for. And then once I started getting the value and I started trading and I started learning about the opportunity and I started doing videos on YouTube and we started growing our team, I started to really fall in love with this academy. And I truly love it now. I love everything about it. I love the fact that I'm learning. I love the fact that I'm already a Platinum 1000 as someone who's still learning and that I get the opportunity to give back that opportunity that has been given to me that's already making me a residual income, whether I trade or not. Now, someone like yourself is a Platinum 2000. You're making 2,000 US a month residual, which means you have over 75 people on your team. And I know your wife is she a Platinum 1000 now too?
She is, yeah.
Yeah, so your wife is a Platinum 1000, and you've got another Platinum 1000 on your team. So your team is growing now exponentially. So you're going to be Platinum 5000 soon, obviously, the way you're growing. And you're making like $2,000 a day trading. So this has changed your life, obviously.
Absolutely.
What does your life look like now? After you said not even a year, right?
Yeah, it'll be a year this month at the end of the month.
Yeah, so not even a year later, what does your life look like now? Are you getting more time now, or are you spending all your time trading?
No, and that's the thing. So when I first started trading on my own, I was scalping gold.
Okay.
And I was literally trading all day, all day. And I was using a 5 lot. So I was literally
that's massive.
Yeah. So people used to call me an animal, like I was Mr. G or Mr. XAU. But
Mr. Gold.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was literally getting like $500 per trade, right? And that was only 10 pips.
$500 a trade, that's epic.
Yeah, and I was doing that all day.
Oh my goodness.
But here's the thing is that then it became to the point where I was still getting people attracted to me because of the platform. I couldn't spend the time with them, right? So this was around the time when I went to Dallas. So when I came back from Dallas, I dove deeper into the academy. And then that's when I started really learning structure. I really started learning about, the Fibonacci's and everything that I do today. So now I can literally set my trades and forget them. I walk away. I go have breakfast with my kids. It's been a blessing having everyone home because before I would literally be home by myself. I'd be done by like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd be like, okay, well, what do I do now? The kids are at school. The wife isn't around. So yeah, it was just kind of like, what do I do now? But yeah, honestly, like I have so much time on my hands now. I'm still working. Don't get me wrong. I'm still working like pretty much 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, but it's different. You know what I mean? I wake up with passion. I wake up because every guy and every woman that's in my team relies on me to empower them. You know what I mean? So I wake up, it's completely different, man. Completely different. That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's a completely different world once you start impacting people's lives the way that we are doing it. You know what I mean? I'm extremely fortunate for everything that I've been doing. Let's just put it that way.
Well, congratulations on all your success, and I want to see you continue to grow. I've got a lot of our members that are watching this right now saying that they're going to be plugging in and trading with you next week. and they're
Awesome.
excited about trading with you next week. And that was really why I wanted to do this video. But now in doing this video, I really enjoying it, and I hope we can do this again, and we can do
Absolutely.
this all the time, and just make this like almost like a weekly thing, maybe if we could one day, or every couple weeks, where we could just have our members join and ask questions and learn about the academy, and we can show
Yeah.
your progress and our progress and my progress as we develop within this academy. And I'm
Mhm.
just excited that we have mentors like yourselves that we can really trade with, because that's why I joined this academy. I wanted to trade with mentors that I could learn from. And I love the fact that I can literally plug in to go live, or I could go onto your session, I can go onto Antoine's session, and not only
Absolutely.
can I trade and win by just copy trading, guys, by literally pressing a button, we can buy and sell and win. But not only that, guys, we can learn how to trade ourselves, right?
Absolutely.
Like Omar has been doing this for less than a year. He's already teaching over 100 people, right? I don't know what your exact total size of your team is, but it's got to be at least over 100 people, right? So
Yeah.
that's
It's
big. That's a
it's
lot. Like,
getting crazy. Hey, Rich, let's just put it this way. In this last month alone, my team has doubled
wow.
from what it was as a P2000 at the start of a P2000.
Wow, congratulations, man. So you've
Yeah,
gone from
man.
about 75 people to 150 people, guys.
Yeah.
Listen to what he's saying. So the next level for you is 225 people, and you're going to go from making 2,000 a month to 5,000 US a month, man. So, hey, man, I want to see you get there, man. Congratulations on all your success.
This month coming up is probably going to be there.
Yeah, I think you will be. I think the way it's growing, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. And guys, we
Absolutely.
have a description in down below of this video that actually has a link to Omar's team, to his Instagram. If you guys would like to join his team, if you guys would like to trade with Omar, if you guys would like to follow him on Instagram, there's the description down below. And if there's anyone that would like to learn more about you, Omar, how can they get in contact with you? How can they reach out to you? What's the best way for them to learn more about you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. The best way, honestly, is probably Instagram. Omar at Omar underscore underscore Menzies, and also Facebook, Omar C Menzies as well. Yeah, I'm open. You know what I mean? I'm here to help every single person that wants to learn, because I've seen what it's done for me, and I've seen what it's already doing for my team on a daily basis. So honestly, this is something that anyone can do as long as they apply themselves, as long as they're ready. You know what I mean? I just want to add on to there, Rich, is that I've grown my business to where it is now by not reaching out to a single person, by not
Wow.
recruiting a single person, by not ever sending out a mass text, mass anything. So that's the kind of person that I'm attracting. I'm attracting people that are leading with the skill set, and then eventually they're attracting people because what I basically say is become so good that people can't ignore you, right?
I love
And
it.
that's how we're building our business, and it's an amazing thing because there's so many people out there that are doing that, where they're randomly adding people and then sending them a message, and that just looks bad. And I just want to tell people that they don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Just continue winning by yourself. And here's the thing: if you build it, they will come. So that means if you can apply yourself and if you can grow your skill set, eventually people are going to start becoming attracted to you.
I agree. I always say that the 5 feet around you is the place to be. The 5 feet around you is the place to be. I want to trade with you, Omar.
Let's
Right?
do it.
I'm guarantee you everybody here wants to trade with you. Right? Everyone that's watching wants to trade with you. So,
Absolutely.
so Monday morning,
Monday morning.
6 a.m., 5:45 my time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be with you trading. I'm gonna trade with you all week long. You're gonna go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so my goal, I'm going to set a goal, guys, for myself and our team here. I want all of us to be with Omar as much as possible this week. Let's trade with Omar this week. Let's get some results this week. And then maybe after that, we can sit down and do another call with Omar, and we can even talk about the results. And hopefully a week later, we can all talk about how everyone made great returns on their investments. That's what this
Absolutely.
is all about, guys, is becoming a better trader. And guys like Omar are allowing us to have the tools to really grow as traders. And the thing I love about this academy as well, Omar, is not only are you a great trader and you're making a lot of money trading, but you obviously developing great leadership skills. Congratulations for all your
Thank you.
success as a leader and with your wife's success as a leader. And I guess at this point, we're going to have to say goodbye to everybody. So we're going to wish everyone a fantastic weekend. I know Omar's obviously busy with his family. I got my kids back here. They're like, Dad, let's go. So I'm going to go spend some time with my kids. But keep up all your great work. And I look forward to seeing you on your session live on Monday, 5:45 Pacific, 8:45 Eastern. And wherever else in the world you guys are watching, you guys can join as well. It'll be on the Elite April group on Telegram, guys. Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye, Omar?
No, I just want to say thank you for having me on here. I look forward to doing this again, and yeah, I just want everybody just to prosper. And the thing is that the first step is always the hardest, but once you're in, not looking from the outside in, that's when you're actually going to expose yourself to the family that we're actually creating within this platform.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for all your hard work. Keep up all the great
Appreciate it.
work. And I look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you get to Platinum 5000 in record time.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Omar Menzies, Platinum 2000, I Am Mastery Academy trading mentor, which you guys can join live as of Monday morning. And he'll be live every morning, Monday to Friday, willing to show you guys how to catch pips. This is Rich
Awesome.
from Rich to Be Live with Omar Menzies, Platinum 2000, Platinum 1000, and we're out. Peace.
Have a good one.